Hi guys, it's Dawn, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create quizzes using your test banks. If you haven't created a test bank, you have to do that first, and I did that in a different video. So I'm going into my advisory folder, and I am going to make a quiz. If you are curious about how to make these other things, there are other videos showing you modules, assignments, tests, quizzes, etc. So go into quiz. And I'm going to create a quiz. I've talked about this before, but we want new quizzes. And then I'm just going to call this one quiz from test bank. I'm going to say it's worth 10 points. You can change all of this later if you want to. This means that it will link to Q, and then you have to give it a due date if you want it to link to Q. So I'm going to save it for now. And here's where I can edit it. So I'm going to give it instructions. I'm just going to say good luck. And then this blue plus is where you can add things. So these are all the different questions. I don't want to click on any of these. I want to add test bank questions. So you can also have test bank questions and these, but for this video, I'm just going to focus on test banks. So you can see these are all different test banks that I have. They have a lot of questions in them. I'm just going to focus on maybe this viruses one down here. So it has 35 questions total. And you can use the test banks in different ways. So I can pick different questions that I want to go into my quiz. It does not affect your test bank. So maybe I want those two questions, and then maybe I also want a random assortment of questions. So when I look on here now, it says all questions pulled from bank, one per question. So I'm going to change that because I don't want them to have a 37 question quiz. I want them to have a 10-point quiz. So I've already got two questions here, 1 and 2. So up here, I'm going to randomly select questions from the bank. I want 8 other questions. I want them to be 1 point apiece, so that's 8 points, 9 points, 10 points. This is now a 10-point quiz. You can change the number of questions. You can change the number of points. So now it's 1 through 8 up here, 9 and 10. And let's see what this looks like. So preview. So what I really like about this quiz is that the first 8 questions now are going to be randomly pulled from that test bank. And then the last 2 are going to be the 2 that we chose. So if you look at this real quick, the smallest viruses are 20 to 100 times smaller than a blank, and a virus can make copies of itself in a process called blank. So these are the questions this time. If I hit exit, and if I preview it again, the quiz is going to be different because the first 8 are being randomly pulled from that test bank. So now you can see question number 1 is a multiple choice. Question number 2 is a multiple choice about shapes of viruses. So I really like to use the random feature, but you don't have to use that random feature. You can just pull questions from your test bank. You can also pull questions from different test banks. So if I was doing a final exam at the end of the year or something like that where I wanted to pull from different chapters, you can just go into different chapters and add what I would do probably is just random questions, 5 from chapter 2, 5 from chapter 3, 5 from chapter 4. And it's a really easy way to do this using these test banks. Once you're done, click return. And here's my quiz from a test bank right here. And if I go back to my modules, I need to add that now. So here it is, quiz from test bank. Remember, I have all these different options. This quiz is just for classic quizzes. So remember, Canvas has this weird thing going on where it has classic quizzes and it has new quizzes. They don't talk to each other. They are 2 separate things. So New quizzes live in the assignments, so quiz from test bank. And there we go. Now it's published, it's live. Kids could see it if they wanted to see it, if they logged into this class and looked at Module 1.